Man, if you guys only had an idea of how difficult it is to find the perfect angle, because I actually have no idea. My head is getting cut off. Okay, so this video is about, it's more of an extension of my last video, which talks about value, as to why I value things too much. It's more of a question video, but then again, most of my videos are questions anyways. They don't really have any parting message. Okay, some of them do. I hope they do help you out, to the two bots that watch my video. I'm sorry if you're an actual person that do watch my video. Please tell me who you are. Actually, no, it's up to you. Anyways, I never really stay or have stayed in one place for too long, or at least longer than I'd like to be. And this is something that I've only realized recently, which may affect my, or the way I approach people, or at least the way I see the world, because I mentioned in my last video that I really do value my connections, like very much. I'd be willing to fight, okay, in whatever that may mean, but I think in theory, or at least by principle, I am willing to fight for you if you matter a lot to me. And I think that's pretty normal. I'm pretty sure that is normal, as cliche as it sounds. But looking back now, aside from my family, which is not really, let's just say, welcoming as I'd like them to, as welcoming as I'd like them to be, there's really no person or people that have been there for longer than 2 years in my life. Okay, maybe there are a few, but okay, some of them, just pop back into my life out of nowhere, and they eventually find themselves again in my life in one way or another. But people get busy and people drift apart, and I think that's normal. And normal, but that doesn't mean it's easy. At least for me, it's not. But to put things into perspective, I guess, or like as an example, I never really stayed in a school for no longer than, the longest I've been in a school was 6 years, but that was elementary, and half of those years I really didn't understand things as much. Nursery I moved, kinder I moved, prep I moved, junior high school I moved, to senior high school I moved, and now college I moved. I'm pretty sure that's 6 transfers. But I see these people talking about their childhood friends or their childhood pals, their go-to buddy, like people who really know them and have been there ever since day one. And I'm not saying that I don't have day one people, but it's just that I just noticed, as soon as I finally am able to warm up to where I found myself in, like actually get a hold of things, or really get to know the people around me at a certain point in my life, that is where it's either one of them goes away, it's either they go away, or I leave, or something unfortunate happens. And I think that's why there's this sense of longing for genuine connection. I'm not saying I don't have genuine connections with the people I have around me, but it's just that once I finally get to settle with people and get familiar with them, their habits, the way they go about things, their principles, their values, that is when things get a little shaky, and now I'm back to square one. I find myself in an environment where I have to re-establish myself as, I'm Homer, I'm this guy, and the people who have known me to be, my past self, it doesn't even matter anymore, because it's been so long that the way they knew me as, or like the person they knew me as, yes, it's still there, hints of it, definitely, but people change. And like I said, I do have a sense of consistency, and I think that's pretty great to have as a person. But yeah, I think there are some things that I do now that I won't do back then. Things that I say now that I won't say back then. Okay, like I swear now. Unfortunately, okay, I tried. That's a different video. But the point is, we can't really be there for people. And as much as I complained, or I'd like to complain, like especially in the last video, I think I mentioned this, that some people aren't just willing as you are to save a connection. They don't value the thing you have as much as you do. And for that to be pretty normal for people, again, I'm not sure if they're right or I'm wrong. I'm not saying that, or I'm wrong that they're right. I'm not stating that. It's actually something I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm recording such videos like these. But we can't expect something out of people just because, okay, I'm showing that I value what we have this much. I'm not explicitly stating it, but I'm pretty sure that my actions speak very loudly that, hey, I really value your company, your presence. I hope you don't leave. But as one of the recent posts I've seen, so it says here, I got this from a YouTuber named Will Keep It Real. This guy actually has helped me a lot in the past few months with dealing with certain things. He says here, stop expecting yourself out of others. Our own expectations will cause our own suffering, as many of us carry the expectation that whatever we give out into the world should determine what we receive in return. And in this case, or in the situation or point I'm trying to make, is that doesn't mean that I show people that, hey, I value this much. In fact, I'm probably willing to go through a lot for you. Doesn't mean they're now obligated to reciprocate that extremeness. I'd actually call it extremeness. I don't know. Let's just say extent or the level. They're not obligated to match that. I'm doing that out of my own volition, and that is one of the hardest pills I've had to swallow recently. Like it's not quite close of an example, but let's say kindness. Of course, the very butterflies and rainbows perspective of this is that show kindness to the world and kindness will show itself to you. The same way the love you give to others will find its way back to you in its own way. But let's say you found yourself in a situation where you gave love, you gave kindness, you were willing to go through so much things for someone, and what you got in exchange or in return was cruelty. Yes, your principles are probably just being tested. Okay, like being kind in a cruel world and all that stuff we see in religion, especially in Christianity, that's very much emphasized. But it is very much a test of my resolve. That is something that I will talk about very soon. I'm actually pretty excited on that. Once we understand that people owe us nothing, you will stop begging for people and asking them to show up in ways they don't wish to. There's a statement going around, not really a statement, but it's a pretty common quote. If they wanted to, they will. Or they would have. I don't know, I forgot. I got brain blocked there. But I guess that just speaks volumes onto how unfair the world actually is. I know that. Here we go again. I know that. But because of this experience, I guess, I think I understand that far better than I initially did. So, this extreme sense of valuing things and it not being reciprocated would mean that for us type of people, I met someone recently who kind in a way shared that value or principle that when you have something, you do anything for it. It's not an easy path. It's definitely not. We will get betrayed, probably. We will get disappointed. We will get hurt. But then again, that's our own volition. That's out of our own volition. It was our decision to put this much value, or place this much value rather, onto something. And as Will here emphasizes, how people treats us is out of our control. Okay, we can shower them with as much appreciation, kindness, gratitude, praise, love, whatever. But that doesn't mean they're in debt. You know, it's not like a money thing. Okay, there was like in our Christian living class of some sort here in USC, there was a point where I had to reflect in the gospel or something, and I did mention something similar to this, where this actually speaks more about the other person than it does about you. And I did watch a video this morning. I think it was coincidental that I recorded that video last night, and as soon as I woke up, I guess that was like a message to me. Doesn't mean we meet people that don't value the things we value. We're now to some extent obligated to question whether or not we're in the wrong. I don't know, because that's what it feels like to me. Am I placing too much value on things? Like I said, maybe it's rooted to the fact that I haven't really had anything stay with me for too long. Perhaps I'm just longing for that unbreakable bond, therefore I am desperate. So I have to prove myself that, hey, I'm actually pretty great to keep around because I'm willing to do all this. Okay? It's a fine line. I can say it's a principle. I can say it's desperation. I can say it's stubbornness. It doesn't really matter. But the point is, I value things. Okay? Will you value what we have for me? But who am I to ask of you that? Like, it's my choice to place value. And yeah, I guess that's it. Another reflection. I guess this is like not really a reply, but I guess a part 2 to the video last night, since it is more or less related. So thank you guys for watching. A lot of things have been going on. It's midterms week. I am working on something. Look forward to that. I hope I do finish it. I'm looking at you 20 days from now, Homer. Please finish it. I'm looking forward to that. So peace guys, peace.